Hi, I'm Shelley.
And I'm Kate, and you're listening to One Lump or Two,
The boldest breast cancer podcast yet.
Join us each week as we offer an intimate glimpse into the challenges and triumphs of facing breast cancer head-on in our 30s.
In Series 2, we're going to be joined by you, our listeners, and some experts in the field to help us all feel a little less alone and a lot more informed.
Now, let's pull back that curtain and dive in.
Hi. I've just been discharged. I'm no longer a breast cancer patient, and I don't know why I'm in tears. All I've done since he said that is just cry. And I think it's going to. So I don't know. I think it's probably now 2.5 years worth of emotion. But I'm free. I'm free. Forever, hopefully.
So sorry, what did you say in that?
I don't know. I think the basic gist is I've been discharged. Woo! And I think what I might have been saying is I don't know why I'm crying like this, because I was really crying. Like, it was as if someone had just chopped off half my body. It was so weird. But the whole thing was weird because so this is the appointment that I was meant to have at the beginning of the summer, and in my head I had this grand plan, like I'll have this appointment, I'll get discharged, I get my first summer with the kids in 3 years where cancer isn't a part of it, I don't have to worry about the hospital, and I can start to get my life back. And then the appointment was moved. It was pushed back by 2 weeks, which then meant it was in the middle of when we were busy with the kids. And then I got irrationally annoyed about that because I was like, well, now I've got to sort childcare and I don't want to have to do this, blah, blah, blah. Did that. Then it got moved again to the end of the summer holidays.
Classic.
And again, in fact, I think that was the time I got really annoyed and I messaged you initially and was like, they've moved it again. Mm-hmm. So again, sorted childcare, made arrangements so I could have that conversation, everything. And then it got moved again and pushed back to the beginning of September. By the time that day came, I was already just like, this conversation needs to happen and it needs to be done with. Like I was over it already. And they rang late. So when they give you the telephone appointment, they're like, oh yeah, we'll endeavour to call you at this time, but we could be
they never
half an hour either side. So I was booked in for 10:30 and my phone didn't ring at 10:30. And I started crying at 10:30 because my phone wasn't ringing. I was like, I don't need this to be delayed anymore. I just want this over with. Like, I don't have time for this anymore. My phone rang about 20 minutes later and immediately the tears stopped because they were just frustration tears. And we had the little chat about how everything was going since switching to the tamoxifen. And he could see that I was still back and forth to the doctor about a couple of other issues. We talked about that. And then he just said, well, I've booked all your MRIs for the next few years and I've booked your annual mammograms until 50. So you're discharged, off you pop. And I was like, okay, thank you. Bye. And then off he went. And then I just burst into tears, like proper sobbing, couldn't speak, couldn't do anything. And I just cried like that for about 2 hours. And I've no idea why I cried like that for about 2 hours. And then
it's like the end of an era though, isn't it? Like that's why you're crying, is you've been in this like cancer like bubble for years now. And then someone says, okay, you don't have to come back to the hospital anymore. It's like a massive like, oh my God, sorry, what do you mean I don't have to come back?
And I definitely went very quickly through that day, like the 5 stages of grief. And at one point we were on the sofa and I just randomly started crying again. And Shane went, you know, this is a good thing, right? And I went, yes, I fucking know it's a good thing. But I'm still scared.
Denial, anger. What are the 5 stages of grief?
But then I had an emotional hangover for, I reckon, about 48 hours where I felt a bit like, oh my God. And then actually I realised just how much lighter I felt. And I genuinely felt like that not being discharged has been tethering me to that experience for quite a while, because I've not been back and forth to the hospital. For all intents and purposes, I could have been discharged 7-8 months ago if I hadn't have changed medication. And it just felt, once the emotional part of it had gone, it just felt like, oh yeah, cool, okay, so this has happened and it was really shit and it happened, but now I get my life back and I get to put some distance between me and what had happened. Because I think even though there is distance between the worst of it, I think mentally it's kind of like all clumped together. Like there isn't a period of the cancer stuff that's the bad cancer stuff and the just muddling along cancer stuff. It's just all that. So yeah, now I just feel completely nonchalant about it and whatever.
I've been discharged, whatever, I don't care.
Whatever. It's weird. And I think a lot of people feel scared because so I don't feel scared, and I think I know why. So I think normally a lot of people feel scared because they feel like the safety net is being taken away and you're suddenly on your own and all that kind of stuff. And none of that is true. You're not on your own at all. Like, the safety net is still there. You just aren't necessarily clipped to it. And I don't think I feel scared because there's so much distance between the worst of it and now. So normally you'd be discharged at the end of your active treatment. You wouldn't still be on the books 18 months later because you've been messing around with your medication so often, things like that. Like, from what my oncologist has said, a lot of the problems I've had with my medication are uncommon, and that isn't the normal experience for someone to be trying every drug that they possibly can to find something that gets them back up on their feet. So I think I don't feel scared because I've been detached from that safety net to some extent for quite a while, in the sense that I'm not in any emergency care. I'm not on death's door right now. It's just been about getting through and finding something that works, and knowing that as soon as we found something that works, I'd be set off into the world.
That's true, I guess, because I think the worst, and I think for you as well, we've discussed it, the worst part is when your treatment's over and then it's just like, okay, off into the world you go. But like, we both have still been on the books because I'm still on chemotherapy tablets, and obviously you were changing your hormone tablets and stuff. So I guess you're right. Like, we've already had that kind of like, okay, your treatment's over, bye. But like, we've still had that kind of safety net of like, oh, I'll see you in 3 months.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I haven't been discharged yet, and I might be discharged in my next appointment because I'm finishing my chemotherapy tablets. But I'm like terrified. But I don't know whether that's because I'm terrified of stopping my chemotherapy tablets, or I'm terrified of being discharged, or I'm just a mixture of both.
It could be both. I mean, it is a complete mind fuck. Like, honestly, my emotions for the 48 hours afterwards were all over the place. I'd be like laughing and then suddenly crying, and sat at work being like, I don't know why I'm crying. I went into a catch up.
I thought you were an absolute psychopath.
I went into a catch up with my manager, and he went, "How are you?" And I went, I can't answer that without crying, and just burst into tears. And it is
and then
nuts.
to be at the end of it now, like, obviously cancer's never over. Like, you'll always like have that experience in the memory bank. But it kind of like, it does feel like it's like the chapter's closed now.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. And I definitely feel ready to be like, okay, so I've always described the whole thing as like being in a car. So when I was diagnosed, it was the passenger next to me as I was driving, and it's definitely felt like the last 18 months it's been sat in the back seat, just genuinely being annoying. And now it just feels like it's out the car and I'm on my way. That's such a nice feeling to feel, because it is such a weight off, and you don't realize how much of a weight off until it's gone. Like, I feel so much like I can't describe how it feels, and hopefully you'll feel it in a couple of months' time. But it is like just this weight that you've got so used to feeling, having on your chest all the time, and then it's gone. And I think it's literally just the label of like, I'm not a breast cancer patient anymore. I'm just someone who's had breast cancer, and has to deal with the consequences of that for potentially the rest of my life. But small price to pay to be alive and well and here.
That's really interesting, like, to hear you say that it was like a weight off your chest, because it is like, I obviously do, I think we all carry that like cancer weight round with us, but you don't, like, I've had it for 3 years now and I don't know myself without that cancer weight. So like you said, like, you can't really describe like how it feels, because I am who I am now, and that's just me carrying this like cancer weight with me constantly.
Yeah.
So it must be like a weird feeling to finally be like, oh, I'm not a cancer patient anymore.
It is a bit weird, but it's nice weird.
Yeah.
Because it's never been something that I've wanted to define me. I think it did define me for a really long time, and rightly so, because that was all that was happening in my life. And it does completely change the way you think and the way you feel and your relationships and your relationship to yourself. It takes an awful lot of work to become okay with all of that, I think. And I've done all of that work, and I think that's probably why I'm so okay with it. I mean, I think had this conversation happened at the beginning of the year when I first expected it to, so 7 months ago, I don't think I'd have been as okay.
Yeah.
I think it would have thrown me for a loop back then, and I'd have been way more terrified. But I know that if there's an issue, I can go to my GP, and I've got the rapid access line. I know that my GP is going to look after me because my GP is continuously still looking after me. Like I probably see them twice a month at the moment because of some various issues that are going on and because of my hormones.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm safe. I'm still being seen. I've got a healthcare professional checking in on me every month.
Yeah, true. People would kill for that, to be able to see their GP that often.
Yeah. Yeah. I see mine all the time.
Can't get a GP appointment for love nor money. I can. I just pulled the cancer card.
Yeah, if the cancer card helps. Maybe I'll lose that now, though. Who knows?
No, you never lose the cancer card.
It's on the record. But yeah, it's weird. It feels good. I'm sure there will be more periods where I get scared and it doesn't feel good. But overall, it feels like the right place to be, which is nice, because
that's really nice. Yeah.
I feel calm and I feel settled, and I haven't felt calm and settled in about 3 years.
Yeah.
So that's a really big thing to be feeling.
Oh my God, yeah, it's massive, absolutely massive.
I feel like I can do anything. Could take over the world. I'll trek the Himalayas with you in a month's time.
I won't. Because I don't feel like I can do that at the moment.
How have you been training for that?
I haven't. I went to boob camp at the weekend with Copperfield, and there were a couple of people there who were also doing the track. Luckily, they also haven't really been training, and I was like, okay. Oh my God. But there was like a couple of people that were like, oh my God, you're going to the Himalayas, like, how's your training? And I was like, oh, I've not done any. And they're like, are you going to be okay? Yeah, of course. They were like, just put a backpack on and walk up and down your stairs loads of times. I was like, I don't want to do that. But it did scare me, because basically I was reading the notes the other day, and it was like, basically we're trekking Ben Nevis, but like every day, like Ben Nevis 5 days in a row.
Yeah. I feel like when you signed up for this, you had the best of intentions, and you were like, I'm going to do it and I'm going to train. And I mean, you did for a while. To give you your dues, you did. Yeah. And then you didn't.
I did, yeah. I just don't do a lot of like walking up the hills. Like, I just hate the hills, which is basically the whole,
you need to go back to Brighton.
So yes, so many hills. But I've been doing like exercise in general. I went swimming today.
Well done, nice.
I don't think there's many pools in the Himalayas, but you gotta work on the stamina. It's gonna be great. I'm obviously gonna do it. I'll just come home a broken woman.
Okay, that's fine. We can deal with that. We've dealt with that before.
That's future Shelley's problem. Because part of the training plan is like, oh, go for a weekend away, go for a walking weekend. But like where Oxford's quite flat. So I don't like I can't just trek up to the Lake District for the weekend. Like it's just not on my agenda.
Even when we went away, we did an awful lot of walking the weekend we went away.
Yeah.
But it was still flat.
It was quite flat, wasn't it? We didn't like trek up hills.
I also don't think you're going to come across many pubs with puzzles in them, which is sad.
No, that's a shame. That was such a good pub, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Could have spent the whole day there.
I've got a puzzle going at the moment in the house.
I'll put some
it's one of those big potato ones, like Night In at the Movies. So
nice.
It's like 100 different films in the puzzle, and then you have to work out what all the films are from the clues. Like Clockwork Orange is a wind up orange. Yeah. Iron Man is a man's face on an iron.
Oh my god, I love that.
You can borrow it if you want. My life is non-cancery now. Bye.
Yeah, now you've been discharged. You're just going to quit the podcast.
Yeah, bye.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Nice knowing ya.
Oh god, please don't quit the podcast.
No, I won't.
I can't do this without you.
How are you feeling about reconstruction stuff?
Oh, do you know what, actually? The other day I decided, and I feel like this is a big decision, to take my name off the waiting list for reconstruction.
Okay, that is a big decision.
I don't know what made me decide that. I don't know what I was doing. It might have been after Boob Camp, actually. Like I spoke to someone there who'd also had the DEP flap, which is what I would be having, and it's not like she put me off or anything, but I think like I've been like anxious and worrying about this decision, like knowing that I'm on the list and at some point in the like relatively near future I am gonna have to make that decision.
Yeah. And
that's been like kind of hanging over me, of like when I get the phone call being like, oh, okay, we're gonna book you in a month's time, like, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. I think I just need to not have that like hanging over me.
Okay.
Because I'm not ready to have the surgery. Like at the moment I don't want it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely swaying way more towards not having it done than having it done. And I just thought, by taking my name off the list, it's like, okay, now I don't have that pressure of like at some point I'm gonna get this call being like, you're going in for surgery next month. I'm gonna be like, no, I don't want to. So I'm going to email them and ask them to take my name off the list. Yeah, I just think that's for the best right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's for the best. I think because you don't know when you're going to come to the top of the list, even though they've given you this time frame that they reckon it'll be about a year, it's such a big decision that affects the rest of your life. And a year might not be a big enough time frame to make that decision, because a lot can happen in a year, a lot can change in a year. You've got a lot of things going on in a year, you know, so the time you can dedicate to think about this and sit with your feelings and be uncomfortable and then happy with those feelings isn't a lot in that space of time. And I think there's also an element of, you don't want to feel like you're messing people around. Like there will be people on that list where the answer is yes, and it's yes every single time they are asked that question. And they have every right to reach the top of that list as soon as possible. And without someone saying, no, I don't want it this time, back onto the list. No, I don't, like, because every time they have that conversation with you, that's holding someone else back from that conversation, especially if you know you're not ready. And like, knowing you're not ready is still a good stance to take.
Yeah, I think so. Like I know something. I'm confident about something.
Yeah.
I'm confident about the fact that I don't know what I'm doing.
It's not a yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so I just think not having that like decision hanging over me is gonna like just be way better for like my mental health and my clarity, and then it might help me come to like a decision quicker. And it's not one of those things that like if I don't have it in the next year they're going to revoke that right. I can go on the list in like 2-3 years time if I really wanted to. So for now I think I'm just such an immediate person. Like I'm quite an impatient person. I'm like I want to make this decision. I want this now, or I don't know, like I'm just, it's weird for me to be like, do you know what, you can have it in like 3 years time, because usually I'd be like, I want it now. Give it to me now.
You know what that is? That's growth.
That was so profound.
Don't let it get your head though.
God. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm gonna sign up to be like a life coach now. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, you can be my first client. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. That's the update, and I think that's quite a good update, and I feel good about that decision.
I feel good about it for you. I don't think you'll get it ever.
No. Yeah, no, I mean, never say never, but I think that's where I'm at the moment is I don't want it. Like, I've come to terms with how we look now, and whilst I'm not like buzzing about it.
And I've seen your one boob recently and it looks very good.
Thank you so much. She's got a little piercing. I've jazzed her up.
That was so amazing because I don't think we've spoken about it since you told me that. But
No,
I
we
was
haven't
I
actually.
was driving when you text me and I got my car to read out the message and it went, I've got my little nipple pierced. And the children in the back of the car were like, what? And I had to say that you can get your nipples pierced.
I'm
And
so
then,
sorry.
obviously, I said to you, pics or it didn't happen. So you sent a video. And then we're sat in
Oh, God.
McDonald's and they were like, can I see? Can I see? And I was like, no.
I hope you didn't show them.
No.
Just a video of me like lifting my top up like, woo.
It made
Here's
for a
my
very,
nipple.
very interesting drive. So now they know.
Okay, well, I'm really glad that your family knows that I've got my nipple put. Now everybody knows.
Yeah, I'll stop getting the car to read my messages out.
So fun. I mean, usually it's fine. I don't always talk about my
Yeah.
little nipple. It's not even that
Normally-
little.
The fact that you use the term little nipple as well.
I'll do a warning next time, like warning
Yeah.
you on your own. Nipple content incoming.
Should leave that there. My cheeks hurt from laughing
Yeah.
quite a lot through that, actually.
Yeah, let's just leave everybody with the image of my little nipple
Little nipple, yeah.
and its piercing. My little nipple and its new piercing. Enjoy, everyone.
Love you, bye!
Love you, bye! If you want to share your story, we'd love to hear from you. Whether you've had cancer, you know someone that's had cancer, or you just love listening to our voices. Slide into our DMs on Instagram at onelump_or2.
Or email us at onelumportwopod@gmail.com.
See you next week.
Bye!